So many people ask me about what's the best way to plan ahead for a course launch. And so I've laid out this 10-step course launch success path to show you the steps that I take. And I'll also talk a little bit about how long like how much time I allot for each step so that you could use this as a roadmap when you're planning your course launch. So the first thing is course planning and pricing. So what I mean by this is choosing your topic, your audience, like who it's going to be, like who you're creating it for, and who you will be targeting with your marketing, the price, and the curriculum for the course. So I'm not talking about creating all the content. I'm just talking about planning out what the course is going to cover, not only in terms of the video content, but also in terms of like any resources or bonuses that you're giving your students. So this really can be done in a day, technically. But if you want to give yourself a little bit more time, maybe to do some market research, then you can set aside a week for it. The second thing is creating course content, but you do not and probably should not create all of the content for your course. I feel that it's better to only create some initial content, maybe for the first module. So that way, if students enroll, you have something to give them. But I don't think you should create everything because you don't know yet if this course is going to make any sales, right? And I would hate for you to spend time or money toward the course, so creating the course content before you know if it's going to work out for you. So instead, what I recommend, like I mentioned, is creating the content only for the first module of the course and then doing what's called pre-selling the course. Like you can start telling people about it, you can start promoting it, see if it makes sales. And if you make sales, that validates your idea and you can go ahead and proceed with the rest of the content. If you don't make sales, you can revisit your plan. It could be the topic, it could be something like the positioning that you might want to change, it could be the price or the target audience. But you can go ahead and kind of like decide what you want to do differently for your next launch. So since you're only creating the content for the first module of the course, that can be done in about a week as well. So for the course, like most modules have between, like, I mean, it's hard to say an average, but I guess I would say about 6 lessons per module. And when I say module, that's like a category of the course. And then the lessons are the individual teaching points. So, some have more, some have less, but let's just use 6 as a ballpark. So what you would need to do is you would need to create slide decks or materials to teach each of those 6 lessons, and then you would need to record it. Here, please keep in mind that done is better than perfect. You don't have to do fancy video editing. You can, like, if you make a big mistake, you can cut that out. You can do a little bit of editing. But the most important thing is that people can hear you and see you well, and that the information that you're providing is valuable. You don't need fancy editing or professionally designed slides or anything like that. Just focus on getting it done and making sure that you're communicating the material clearly. Because if you try to be a perfectionist about it, that's going to slow you down. And you can always go back and refine the content later. The third step is the course setup. So this is where you choose a course hosting platform. So I use Kajabi, so that's what's written here on the timeline, but it could be another hosting platform of your choice. But basically what it is, it's like a secure place that your students have to log into in order to get the material. And then the material is set up for them in a very organized, logical flow way. So at this step, what you need to be doing is uploading that module 1 content that you created in the step before, and also customizing the course dashboard, the login page, and the member library page. So in most course platforms, after people log in, it doesn't go directly to the course. It goes to one centralized location where people can find, or where people can get access to all the different things they've purchased from you. And that's what the member library is called. So You can allot a week for that third step if you want, but realistically, it can definitely be done in a day. The fourth is preparing to collect payments and onboard new students. So in Kajabi, this is called the offer and the checkout page. So this is basically like a settings page where you're telling Kajabi how much you want to charge, when you want to give access to the course after people enroll, and you set up any automations such as an onboarding email that goes out after somebody enrolls. If you have multiple payment plans that you want to offer, like, so let's say a pay in full and an installment plan, you would do that in this step as well. So again, you can give yourself up to a week, but I really think this is another thing that can be done in an hour, realistically. Okay, so sales page. Sales page is something that is important because it's where you're communicating to your potential students the information about the course. And you want to communicate what's included in the course. You know, is it on-demand videos? Is there some kind of community or Facebook group? Are there bonuses? Are there other resources, coaching calls, things like that? But even more importantly, you want to communicate very clearly who the course is for and what people are going to get out of it. Like, what problem is this going to help them solve? Or what desired result is it going to help them achieve? And so a good sales page will cover both what's included and the benefits and outcomes of the course. And then it also includes things like social proof, like if you have testimonials from past clients. It lays out the different payment options. It usually has like your guarantee and an FAQ. So it's important to convey this information to your potential students, but you don't have to make it fancy. So designing this gorgeous sales page that you might have seen other people use takes a lot of time. And if you're in a crunch and you're just not in a position where you can be making a sales page like that, you don't have to. Again, the more important thing is that you give people all of this information. So that could be done in a Google Doc. And a lot of people actually do launch with Google Docs. So I think it's more important that you don't hold yourself back by trying to overcomplicate things. So if you're used to making landing pages and like you're good at it, then by all means go for the full-fledged sales page. But if you think it's something that's going to slow you down, then I recommend just a very simple version on a Google Doc. So between like writing the copy and gathering the testimonials and like the layout slash design, this is something that'll take you about a week. Then it's time to prepare for your launch. So usually a launch involves some kind of event, like a marketing event. So that could be a free masterclass, it could be a challenge, it could be a paid workshop, but no matter what you want to do is you want to attract the attention of your ideal clients, the people who would be a good fit for your course, and plan to provide them with value so that you establish authority and trust with them. And then after you provide the value, you introduce your offer at the end, usually with a special discount or bonus for your founding members if this is the first time you're launching your offer. So there are some things that need to be done to prepare for the launch, such as setting up a registration page, a confirmation email, reminder emails, the special bonuses, like that kind of thing. So the launch step takes about a week as well, or preparing for the launch takes about a week. But when you actually execute the launch, then you have your cart open. So what cart open means is like the period in which people can enroll. So you can have your cart open for, let's say, 5 to 7 to 10 days. That's about average. And during that time, you're hosting your event, but then you're also following up with people. So you're sending emails, you may be posting on social media, you may be offering to do calls or answer questions, and you're just continuing to reinforce all of the value that your course will provide people when they enroll. The next thing you want to do is evaluate the launch. So what this means is polling the people who participated in the launch, but who didn't purchase. So let's say they signed up for or attended your event, but they didn't end up enrolling in the course, and you want to find out why they didn't buy. And then you can use that information to hopefully improve your launch the next time around. Also, you want to record key metrics from the launch to serve as benchmarks for the next time around. So for example, looking at your numbers, what was your audience size? How many people signed up for your event? Of the people who signed up, how many attended the event? And then of the people who attended, how many eventually made a purchase? And so if you have these benchmarks, it can put you in a better position to evaluate, future launches. And also you can jot down more like qualitative evaluation notes for yourself. Like, maybe you might say something like, the webinar ended up being too long and people were dropping off. So the next time I have to make it shorter, or there wasn't much engagement in the Facebook group. And so I need to more actively put in prompts to engage people, like things like that. Anything that occurs to you that you could do better next time to improve the results of the launch. Step 8 is to create and deliver the remaining course content. So after you make some sales of the course, you create and deliver the remaining content. You can consider teaching the content live. So you're kind of like creating it by teaching it live and recording yourself, or you can record it on your own, like, pre-record it, but then each week consider doing a live session, like maybe a Q&A, or like just like a coaching session with the students who are going through the course, because that's going to give you a lot of insights as to how they're reacting to the material. You'll be able to hear firsthand what parts of the material they really like, if there's anything that's confusing them or that they need more help with, if they're requesting maybe topics that originally you weren't going to include in the course, like things like that. Because that feedback is going to be really valuable to you in helping you to refine your offer, which is the next step. So you're collecting this feedback and you're refining not only the course content based on how the students are, reacting to it when you deliver it, but you're also refining the marketing and the positioning of the course. So for example, let's say the material is really helpful in helping people to get like an aha moment or some kind of results. And it's like a big deal for people who are, that they got this result. That's something that you would want to play up in the positioning of the course, that it helps people to get that result. Or it may give you some ideas as to how to refine your pre-launch event, like, let's say your webinar or your challenge. So you're using this feedback to refine your course and your marketing. And then you have a couple of options. You can launch again every, let's say, 3 to 6 months and just repeat that, launching 3 to 4 times a year. Or you can set up an evergreen system, which is basically an automated system where there's like an on-demand class, or webinar like that people can sign up for. After they sign up for and watch the training, they get these automated emails with links to enroll in the course. And if you set up this system, you can enroll people basically 365 days a year, and you're not limiting yourself to these like 1-week enrollment periods that occur only a few times a year. But keep in mind, you can do both the evergreen system and the live launch system. A lot of successful course creators do that. It's called the hybrid method, because while the evergreen system sounds very attractive. There are some people out there who really thrive on the energy of the live launch. And people like when there's like excitement around something, and when there's like some special bonuses being offered, and when they can have the opportunity to ask you questions about the course. And those are the things that happen with a live launch. So you can do both. You can have the live launch plus the evergreen system. So those are the 10 steps that I use for my course launches. And I hope this was helpful for you in planning out your launch.